You're looking at some historical photos of a home built way back in 1878 on what is now part of U of T's downtown campus. Take note of the pillars and the intricate woodwork along the top of the home, and now look at the home today. You'll notice the columns at the front of the house are gone. The woodwork high above has been removed, and tenants who live here say this is all that's left. A piece of Toronto's history reduced to some broken fragments of old wood from over a century ago. Now, back on Tuesday, the City Council approved that this house be looked at under a heritage review, though on Saturday, workers showed up stripping much of the house of its heritage properties. Now, the landlord says that water was seeping into the house and the work needed to be done. Tenants say that wasn't the case at all.
I think they took a lot of cultural history, a lot of neighborhood history. This is the oldest house in the neighborhood. It's the last surviving house on the street. So a lot of stuff was lost on Saturday.
Adam Wynn, a U of T student, is one of a group of tenants who calls 15 Glen Morris home. He says the timing of the work right after the house was slated for a heritage review doesn't add up. He and his roommates have been told their tenancy will be terminated. They've been offered cash to move out by February 1st. In 2005, the Ontario Municipal Board approved an 18-unit, 8-story apartment building to be built on the property. A lawyer representing the current owner of the property sent this letter to staff, which calls for the heritage review to be canned. It reads, "Our client believes this represents an inappropriate use of the Ontario Heritage Act and that the requested study should not proceed."
While people, I understand, are concerned that with heritage, does that limit what you can do? In fact, we try to enhance what you can do and make sure that financially it doesn't come at a knock to you. We have a wealth of heritage in our city that is not protected today. We're playing catch up, and it's taking too long to assess and list and designate these buildings for their heritage value.
Similar questions are also being asked tonight at Yonge and Eglinton, where a former Bank of Montreal building that stood for 110 years was demolished Saturday, much to the surprise of local residents.
I'm disgusted. It's just a pile of rubble. All those beautiful columns are all part of the pile. It would have been the bank for the village of Eglinton, and the farmers and the local businesses would have probably all used that bank.
Area residents had been requesting a heritage assessment on the building, but the local councillor confirms none was underway. That means the developer was able to apply for a demolition permit. Developers are required to lay out their plans before demolishing residential properties in Toronto, but the same rules don't apply for commercial land, like this building.
I believe that you should have to at least notify the local councillor and local residents if a demolition permit is going to be issued. Our office was not notified of this, and we found out about it from the local residents.
They need to smarten up and look after what we have left of our history before it all ends up in the landfill.
We reached out to the province today with questions about the Ontario Heritage Act. A spokesperson says it's up to cities to designate properties heritage sites and also to ensure that they're not changed or demolished. Now, city councillors like Joe Creshley say it's time the provincial act got an overhaul of its own.